Welcome all. Today we have seen about open educational resources. Currently we have the students using the open educational resources as incomparable to the text books or a library. Using the PDF is also easier than the taking a book from the library. So we using the open educational resources that will be easier to attain the learning, and it will be closer to the enhance the learning opportunities. So let's moving to the topic. What is mean by OER? First of all, we know about what is mean by OER. We use the OER materials, but we can define the OER as later. Open educational resources are free, open and licensed educational materials that can be used for the teaching, learning, research and other purposes. So it will be a licensed material. We are the students, we can use as the believe that it's a licensed material. Okay. Then source items in OER. What are the source of items in OER? So the source of informations are the textbooks, journals, magazines, newspaper, thesis, abstract, passions and standards, reports, biographies, reference books and opaque materials is also a source of OER. Then what are the format of this sources? So we using the materials of study materials as PDF, text document or PPT presentations, then images, then streaming, audio, video are the major sources of the OER formats. Then source items industry. Then what are the industries are producing this source of OER items? Majorly, library is the fundamental source of the OER. Then institutional repository, as per the teachers confidence, they making their own notes from the licensed materials. Then blog, web portals, website, tutorials, social media and emails are also a licensed OER sources. What are the permissions of the OER? So how it will be, OER will be confined the permissions. The framework of OER will be freely available under the Creative Commons Attribution License. So this is all the Creative Commons CC underlines attribution licensed materials. It encourages the educator to capitalize on the unique rights associated with the open content, also known as the 5R. So OERs also ensure the 5Rs. Then what are the 5Rs? Retain, reuse, revise, remix and redistribute. So these are the qualities of the OER. It ensure the 5Rs. So retain means make and on copies. So the authors can make the copies and make their own copies as much as their possibility. Then reuse, the OER can be reused in with the significant use of reuses. Then reuse, revise we can be adapt or modify and improve as per the license authority. We can adapt or modify the contents. Then remix, the combine two or more, so we can remix as much as for knowledge sharing. Then we can redistribute, share with others. We can share the OER contents. So these are the 5Rs supporting the OER. Then OER is also a 5cc recommendation, 5cc licensed materials. Then what are the type of OER? We are already seen about what are the types of PDFs, videos, ebooks and emails, and whatever the e-materials or available in the licensed materials, those are all OER materials. So once again we seen about open books are the OER materials, streaming videos, online module webcasts and digital tutorials, open journals and open coursewares. Then we move into our uses of OER. We are the students, teachers. We learn to what are the uses of OER. For individuals, we can improve the access, including the world best quality learning material. So we are in India, we can access the abroad study materials or licensed materials for the quality of the education. Then lower cost and new tuition fees, low tax costs. So basically the hard copy textbooks are very large scale of prices, so we can reduce the price of selling, then low costs and the non tuition fees, so we can learn anywhere and any time with the loss of the tuition fees and the low tax costs. And for providers, so as we confirm that suppose we are a provider of OER contents, so we can what are the benefits of providers, that lower cost through collaborative development and reusing existing resources. So uh, from today we have the collaborative works are very easily comparable to the ancient works. So we use the collaborative work as much as less cost of effects and reusing and existing resources. So we can editing or existing resources can be reusing after the future researchers. In more diversified curriculum, so it will be diverse and it will be universalized material for the curriculum. For system, for education levels, the improved access through more affordable courses and program. So the students can access the more journals or more study materials, and they are also affordable in a courses and programs. So we suppose we take in the Bachelor of Education program, we have this 4 semesters are available, and there will be PDF sized materials or OER materials will be lesser costable. So the students will be benefited to less cost to compare to the hard copies. Then PDF is also we can take anywhere. In a higher quality learning resources. So suppose we take a books as a scanning, that will be reduce the quality of a reading. So the OER contents are also ensure that the clear content and quality of the learning, lower cost through lower support to learner. So it will be support the lower learner to affect the cost. Then what are the examples of the OER? So e-Pathshala and PG Pathshala, Swayam Prabha and the Google Scholar, then Swayam channel. Those are the basic examples of the OER contents. Then we moved into our conclusion. Open educational resources, OER can overcome barriers to student access to course material while also reducing the cost of higher education. So the majorly the open educational resources are focused on the reducing the barrier to overcome the study and access easily the study materials, and it will be access better education and providing opportunity to future. That's all for today. Thank you.